I'm the babysitter. Oh, I usually. Oh, Star say I was at the veterans parking thing. Well, here we are at the store with the blue flag. Every time I get on the live, I always got a. The little guy, he's really quiet today. I mean, he's always quiet. He never makes any noise. I mean, literally the quietest dog I've ever had. He'll grunt and he will bark like when he gets trapped in the bathroom. I'll shut the door. I don't. He comes into the bathroom with me. When I leave the bathroom, I shut the door, and he realizes when he wakes up, he's napping on a little throw rug down there in the bathroom, and he'll start to bark at the door. He'll first grunt a couple of times, and then he'll bark. Hey, little buddy, there's a little sip of water in there. You need a bit more water? Nope. Okay. Uh, she won't be long in there, I'm sure. She's picking up for lunch tomorrow. We're having baby back ribs, baked beans, a green salad. I'm trying to recapture what it was like in the summer. You know, eating barbecued ribs is a summertime favorite. Yeah, as you can see up there, it is cold, 37 degrees right now, 37, and it is a gray, overcast day. There's nobody in here, so Colton, you and I, we can do anything we want to. A little bit. Your little face, look, you got a lot of tears in your eyes, don't you? You was crying when Mama started to leave you earlier, didn't you? Oh, your little eyes need to be cleaned out too. You need a bath. See, we live in Alabama red clay, and he goes out there and sticks his nose in the mud, digging around. I don't know what he's looking for, but whatever he's looking for, he likes to go out there and root around in the mud. He's part pig. There doesn't ain't anybody in here today. I think it may have warmed up. It was 37 when I left home. Let's see what it is now. Um, oh, look at there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is 45 degrees. We're in a tropical heat wave. Uh, as you can see over there, today the price of the fuel is 237, and I will probably tank up a fuel today. This thing's got a 28-gallon tank on it, and when it's down to three-quarters of a tank, you say, "Well, I haven't used very much." But that top part of the tank is the biggest part of the tank. It takes a lot of. It'll take right now. If I went over and feel it, even though it shows I'm showing three-quarters of a tank, it'd still probably take 8-9 gallons to fill it. Oh, we got somebody in here. We got somebody in here. I can't see their name. I mean, I see the head just popped up because I don't have the comments turned on. I could turn my phone up vertical. Oh, maybe over here. I touch this thing here. Top chats, live chat. There we go. Yeah, now you can just chatter away. I turned that part on. I ain't too smart when it comes to all this technology stuff. I usually never park in a handicap parking because I'm sitting in the truck and it doesn't seem fair to to use up somebody's handicap spot when I could be off over yonder somewhere. Oh, look, look at me. I'm in my jammies. I'm in my jammies. Well, these are fleece lined. They got pockets in the fly and all that stuff, so you can wear them outside. And they're lined. They're for cold weather. And this is just like the kind of weather that we might be able to start seeing snow pretty soon. I don't have Theo with me today. The back seat's empty because Theo is 17 years old and his little bones are pretty brittle, and he has. Hey, Carney, good seeing you here this morning. We've just been like a grasshopper going from one place to the other, and I did see you and Sick. Y'all, I got your invite to join your group, but we were just trying to keep things going, getting all the animals fed. We like live in a zoo out there where we live. Had to feed all the animals, and our place is a depot for all animals to come to. Raccoons, possums, we feed them. We feed stray cats in the neighborhood. I've got one tomcat, and the rest of the cats belong to somebody else because they got collars on. But they like living over at my place. They like my Harley. Them seats are really plush in them. My old tomcat sleeps in the back seat. See, who was that just come? Oh, I missed that. I was busy yapping and looking at the scenery over there that I missed who came in, but whoever you happen to be, welcome to Old Mack's live broadcast on a 45-degree day here in the deep South Alabama, Gator country. 35 in New Mexico. Well, we I remember last year at this time last year, somewhere close to this time, I stopped in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we stopped at a really nice hotel there. Had them to bring me a pizza. Bring Angelique. We didn't get into the room until 10 o'clock that night. This was December of 2024, and we ate the pizza and went to bed. We got up the next morning and went out there. I went out first to start the truck to warm it up. I had to scrape ice. It was 18 degrees. Now, we left Albuquerque that morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, Albuquerque, New Mexico. The next morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting in Alabama. I drove 24 hours from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I crossed into Hamilton, Alabama, across the state line at 4 in the morning. I arrived at my house here at 6 in the morning. So that was 14 hours, 26 hours from Albuquerque to my house. And we were in a Mustang. No, we was in this truck here. I started saying let that Mustang, because the year before we was in a Mustang GT, and we made a quicker trip. But here's what happened. We decided that we was not going to go through all the hassle of getting a room at 10 o'clock at night. We was calling ahead. We never could find one where we could stop, and we said, we're going to make Albuquerque. We're going to stop in Albuquerque. And So we did. We found a place in Albuquerque. Where we was at there, it was a beautiful place. I know we had to come down off the freeway, take a. It was a couple of loops I had to take. I was maybe a mile from the freeway, so you didn't have all that sound. I was in Tucson, Arizona last year in November, and we stayed downtown Tucson under the freeway. There was a motel down there that we had to take several clover leaves to finally get down there to it. And when I got up in the morning, at 4 in the morning, to leave out of Tucson going to Washington State, I had a hell of a time finding my way back up on the freeway, even though I had GPS and I had all that kind of stuff. The GPS is showing me where to turn. However, two or three of the on ramps were closed due to construction. I believe that was I 40 or I 10. No, that was I 10. And I thought we was never going to get out of Tucson, boy. We got out of Tucson, and that was one hell of a trip. We had to drive over 3,000 miles from Alabama to Washington State, which is normally 2,600 miles, but we had to drive over 3,000 because we had to go all the way to El Paso due to the fact that all the passes was covered in snow. I-40 was closed. They closed I-40 somewhere near Albuquerque. I'm sorry, Flagstaff, Arizona. Near Flagstaff is where they closed the road. Due to snow out by the Grand Canyon and all that stuff, it was closed up there. So we had to go all the way to Albuquerque, all the way down to down to El Paso. And then we got into a 100-year-old windstorm. The dust is so thick, there was warning signs across the freeway. For the next 75 miles, beware of 70 to 80 mile per hour wind, crosswinds with sand. And it was like a sand blizzard. I've been busy talking, haven't been noticing. We do have 6 people in here coming and joining me for this lunchtime, nearly lunch out there on the West Coast. Of course, it's not close to lunch yet, but um, I usually try to squeeze in a little time on the live broadcast when she's in there shopping. Hey, Rob's neighbor, I see Rob's in there. Sterling Will. Good morning, sir. I don't know where your logbook has took you today. I'm sure you don't have a logbook like we had. You have probably e-log or something like that. Oh, man. You bring back some great memories. Rob, you're the Mr. Fix-It man. You haul stuff home in the van. It might be a motorcycle today or it could be a sewing machine tomorrow. What is one person's junk is another man's treasure because he knows what to do with it. I'm going to tell you, Sterling, I look back on my 6 years over the road. I drove for 6 years over the road. I have a lot more years than that than driving, and I did a 6 year stretch over the road. Hey, Thomas Bailey and Colton. Hey, Colton. Yeah, that's Old Mack and Colton with Thomas Bailey and the gang. Uh, I I did 6 straight years over the road, and we kept it running. I did 3 years with a lady named Miss Johnny, co-driver. I was the senior driver, and she was my co-pilot. And me and her, we racked up miles. She loved nighttime driving. She was a retired Army nurse. And me and her, we hot bunked. We had a day sleeper. What do you call them? One of them 42-inch mattress. We didn't have a condo. And she'd crawl out of bed and I'd crawl in it. Good, warm, snuggling. She'd keep that bed good and warm. Hot bunking. Like me and Colton does. Colton, he likes to get up where it's warm, get under your armpit. You need more water, little buddy? Oh, let me tell you, She loved night driving, but I'm gonna tell you what happened to us there. I would do double shifts so she could run the night thing that she wanted to do. I was a ham operator, so I had a big old HF ham radio operation, Kenwood radio, covered all bands. I think I had 9 bands in the truck. So I would spend my day driving and talking on the radio. I had a $80,000 office, just all over America. Well, she'd go when I'd go to bed at night. She would turn the she had favorite bands that she liked to listen to. Now she couldn't talk because she was not a licensed operator, but in the morning when my time was ready to get under the wheel, she would give me a rundown on all the networks, all the weather reports from across the country, all that stuff. She'd give me a breakdown of everything happening on the radio during the night. And but let me tell you, we had made a trip out to Sylmar, California, and we run it hard because we had to do a double run to Sylmar from Pinson, Alabama. And so we had to get our asses back to Alabama to get another load to get out there before Friday. And we got over there in Picayune, Mississippi. That's down on I-59, coming up out of New Orleans. We stopped in Picayune, Mississippi at the Golden Corral. And we also changed over, it's her time to drive. And about a week or two after we made that long run, we got called into the office. The PA system went on and said, Old Mack and Miss Johnny, report to HR. So we had to go up there. We were in the day room back there waiting for our run. We get up there and she said, the lady that does all the logbooks, she said, you got some splaining to do, Lucy. I go, what's the problem? She said, look right here. You stopped in Picayune right here. You had your dinner break and you changed driver, did this and that. She said, there's something wrong here. Look at your bunk time. I looked at it, when you draw on your line, you go down there in the sleeper, on duty, but in sleeper time or whatever it was called. And I looked down there. I said, well, it was my time to be in the sleeper. She said, Miss Johnny, look at your logbook right there. What time was you in the sleeper? We both looked at one another. And she said, oh, God. She said, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to get that thing straightened up there, and you can give me the book back after you initialize it. We'd got caught in the act, because we'd had our hours changed up to fit our occasion as a co-pilot and the pilot and the co-pilot, that we got caught up in the fact that we were in the sleeper at the same time. And that don't seem to work out when the DOT gets a hold of your logbook. They question that. How was the truck making that many miles, 7,000 miles that week with both of you in the sleeper at the same time? That's really odd. And then I run with a guy, I had another co-driver. His name was Bill Bailey. Bill Bailey, won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Won't you come home? Well, we was down there in not Biloxi, but in not Hattiesburg. Right when you come across out of Louisiana into right there on, what the hell was the name of that little town? Just as you come into Mississippi, where the big Confederate battle took place down there on the river. Anyhow, both of us had to get off our logbook because we'd used up our 70 hours. In those days, you had a 70-hour week. We had to get our logbook fixed up. So we knew that we'd have to be in the room so many hours, and then we'd be free to go. We had on our truck, he had his truck and I had my truck. We wasn't running double. We was doing team running, but we was 2 trucks. And he called me, the phone rings, and it's him. And he said, let's go. I said, all right. So I get out there. I get out to the truck first to start the engine up. And I've got doing all kinds of stuff. And then I'm making an entry in my logbook. And I happen to look over at the time. I said, well, my time something must have happened. I've lost, my time ain't correct. Because my time is saying it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And he said it's 5 o'clock in the morning. And so I called him on Nextel. I said, look at your clock. What time is on your clock on the dash? He said, 1:10. I said, mine's the same thing. He said, so what? I said, we're not good in the book until 4 o'clock, 4 or 5, whatever it was. He looked and he said, oh hell. Oh my God, I looked at the clock wrong. He looked at the clock and he called me to make sure I was up and ready to run. We were hauling dragline buckets out of Hook, Texas, at Army Depot in Hooks, Texas. And oh my God. Oh, here we are now. We have already logged in. We've already fixed our friggin' logbook up. You know how you do when you reach under the mattress and get another one and start a new one and for your new 70-hour week and all that stuff. And now we're fixing to go into Vicksburg. We're going to cross the river into Vicksburg, and right there at Vicksburg is the badass way station. Oh, hell yeah. As soon as we crossed that bridge, the boy lit me up. He said, pull it over, bring your paperwork in. I go, oh, shit. So, me and him both, here we go, trudging in there. And he said, I guess you know what I got you for. I thought, well, how would he know I was out in my logbook? He hadn't even hardly checked it yet. So we walked in there and he said, where's your portion tag? Where's your, well, the portion tag was in the truck, in my truck. My portion tag was in the truck because we had did some work and they put a new front end on that Freightliner and they didn't have that portion tag on it. They didn't have the sticker or whatever. But I said, I got it in my book. And I showed him that it's portion applied or whatever, however they say that. And, but he said, I got to write you a ticket because it's not displayed. It's going to be $45. So I'd already called and said they got us for overweight and out in our logbook. Because when I pulled across the scale, I was 6,600 pounds over. And the reason I was over in my logbook is the dragline buckets had scab plates that the Army had put on it, were the what's called wear plates. They was about 2 inches thick and 4 foot long, and they was lots of extra weight. We was only moving them by shipping weight, not modified weight. Anyhow, the old sergeant was sitting over there, and he grinned and he said, you would never have got away with that if it'd been me. He said, and you know what I'm talking about. Because, see, he didn't charge me for the 6,600 pounds over. He was so thrilled that he caught me for violating the apportion law on the tag that me and old Bill Bailey, both of us was out. We didn't have our apportion tags. We didn't have the sticker applied. And we went out there and I called home office. I said, hell, we got a $45 ticket for not having tag applied. And the boss said, dinner is on me. You boys stop and get yourself a good dinner. It's on me. Because, hell, that overweight ticket would have been, hell, we might have even impounded us 6,600 pounds over. We was taking those dragline buckets down to Miami, Florida. They was putting them, actually, we was going to Hollywood, Florida. They was going to put those dragline buckets on a barge, and they was sending them over to Haiti. Sterling wheel. Oh, I'm sorry. I ramble along with these stories. Are you paying me to get off the air so you don't have to listen to no more of this crap? Is that what this is? I'm wise to you. I won't quit talking till you pay me. Anyhow, we took those dragline buckets. I had to take them on down to Florida. And the guy, when he went to unload them, he had a crane that was extended 175 foot out, and he had a maximum weight he could lift. The dragline buckets was going by shipping weight, what the Army said they weighed when they were manufactured, but they was 2,000 or 3,000 pounds over, or whatever. And he picked that thing up and he said, "Oh no, we can't unload your truck. I can't get it off your truck. It's too heavy for our." And then finally they called somebody and got him to boom down where he could. They had to boom the thing down and lift it at a lower angle where it wasn't all fully extended. And they finally got us unloaded there. That was a hell of a drive. That was a nightmare ride. There's always an adventure on the road. There's never a dull moment. Uh, I got up there in Fargo, South Dakota, and a little girl. It was 8 below 0 on I 90 right there where I-90 and I-29 comes together. I-29 up out of Denver up into Fargo, South Dakota. Um, it was below 0, and here comes this little girl. She had a mini skirt on, and she hopped up on the driver's side over there, and she said, "Can I get in your truck?" I said, "Hell no!" Because only Snyder and some of those other big corporation truck drivers can afford those ladies, to come sit in your truck. She said, "No, sir, I just want to get warm." She said, "You look like a kindly gentleman." I go, "Yeah, you can sit in there." She sat over there and got warm, smoked her a cigarette, and so when I got back to the home office, she gave me her name and everything, her street name. They've always got little cute name like Bunny or Bambi or something like that. When I got it, I went over on the blackboard in the day room. We have another driver that runs up that way a lot, and I wrote on there that she was looking for him. Said the money he paid her bounced. She won her $80, and I wrote it on the blackboard. And everybody come in and looking, about the old girl up in Fargo, North Dakota. Truck drivers have so damn much fun. We should have just did truck driving for free because it's so much fun out there. It just enlivens your life. I mean, they pay us handsomely to haul their cargo, but hell, to me, that was the greatest 6-year vacation I ever had in my life. They paid me to go have fun. I was in a flatbed, so I didn't have a whole lot of crap. You'd pull into a yard and they would unload you with a forklift, and you'd have a load of steel. I hauled a load of steel from Old Neil Steel in Birmingham, Alabama, to Linwood, Washington. Oh, I'm sorry. I've got the phone in my hand, and I am not spending a lot of time looking over at the message. I should be paying more attention to the message, but I really appreciate the. Oh, I know that. Whoa! Oh hell! Oh, that's some bad news right here. Hang on, this is going to get western. Okay, so that got western real quick. That was Angelique. Let me know that she's coming out. Let me get around this way. You'll see her little hoofs coming down through there here in a second. Oh, that ain't her. See, the little buddy, he already knows Angelique's coming. He heard the phone ring. This little guy knows everything. So, anyhow, them other guys don't know. They go, "Oh, poor Sterling. Oh, blessed heart. He's just working night and day, just, trying to serve America and haul the goods for America. He's my hero." And you're out there grinning like a possum, having fun, man, doing all your electronic stuff. And you and I had the world by the tail. You still have the world by the tail. I had it for 6 years, and I swung that sucker like a wild possum. Yeah. Well, let me see. Say hello to Sterling.
Hi.
Rob's neighbor.
Hi.
Bill Bailey, not
everyone,
Bill Bailey.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Oh, everybody. She's saying everybody. Hi to everybody. That's my little grocery getter. Life is good unless you weaken. Oh, man, she just put a 100-pound bag. That girl is strong. She's as strong as them Minnesota girls. She tossed that 100-pound bag in that cat food in there just like a Oh, is that sandwich material? No, no. I didn't. Oh, there we go. We got. Woo, woo. She's just throwing shit now. I'm telling you, she's tossing stuff. Is she having? Look at her, buddy. Now she taught. Look at hell. She's stripping off. She's totally naked in the parking lot at Walmart. Let me get my camera around that away. Oh Lord, if I can. I think I get a crick in my neck if I swing it around too far. Well, if you're going to get naked, the best place to get naked is in a Walmart parking lot. Ain't that right, Colton? Colton said, I don't know what y'all talking about. I have never had any clothes on. Geez, I'm looking for me a lady right now. Well, guys, you can see she's here. And the four hardcore people that stuck with me for this 31 minutes, let me tell you how much I appreciate you. Merry Christmas and all that stuff that's coming up here pretty quick. Man, love life, love long. Just live every day that you get the opportunity. And always have fun. Love you. God bless you. And we'll catch you next time we got some time to kill with my friends.